Okay, we are going to be starting Chapter 8, which covers the nervous system. And to get through all of this introductory material, I've decided to split it into 3 separate videos to make it a little bit easier to go back over information and to review things for tests and quizzes and that kind of thing. So in our first part here, which is going to be fairly short, we'll be covering the 2 major anatomical divisions of the nervous system. Part 2 is going to cover the structure and function of neurons, and Part 3 will cover the structure and function of the neuroglia. So, our first learning target, which we'll cover in this first video, is going to be naming and describing the 2 major anatomical divisions of the nervous system based on their locations and their functions. So those 2 anatomic divisions of the nervous system are the central nervous system, or the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. So the CNS can be found in the brain and the spinal cord, and exclusively those 2 structures. The primary functions of the central nervous system are to integrate and coordinate the processing of sensory data, so smells, sounds, tastes, anything like that that you sense from somewhere other than your brain and your spinal cord. All those signals run up into your brain, and then your brain sorts them out and puts them where they need to go so that you can understand what's going on. The central nervous system also transmits motor commands, so anytime you want to move a muscle, as we discussed in the muscular system chapter. And then control of higher functions such as intelligence, memory, and emotion. The peripheral nervous system can be found in any of the neural tissue outside of the central nervous system. So any nerves or anything that run outside of the brain or the spinal cord are going to be considered peripheral nervous system tissue. The primary function of the peripheral nervous system is to control the communication between the central nervous system and the rest of the body. And it has 2 different divisions, the afferent and the efferent divisions. So the afferent division, af being a prefix that means to, carries information from sensory receptors to the central nervous system. So that to prefix means to the central nervous system. And in contrast, the efferent division, F being a prefix meaning from, carries motor commands from the central nervous system to effectors, so muscles, glands, adipose tissue, anything that's going to make a change in your body. So those are the 2 anatomical divisions of the nervous system, and in the next video we'll get into the structure and function of neurons.